This is Belladonne. I believe this was originally a three-book series starting in 2004, drawn by Pierre Alleret, one of my favorite Franco-Belgian artists, and not one you hear of a lot in North America. I think if more professional artists over here had seen his work, they would, praise it more. But he hasn't really had anything besides a recent book ever translated into English. All of his work is French only, mostly because the publisher he works with doesn't do a lot of translations. So Belladone, the writer on this series is, I don't know how to pronounce that, I don't know, sure. Pierre Alleret, Design, that's the drawings, colors by Patrick Noel. And this book has everything I could ask for in a series. It's a bit of a period piece. It's got a cartoony style to it that Alleret does so well. It's got it's got good colors, but I think sometimes occasionally it's a little photoshoppy. There's some volumetric stuff in there and there's some gradient stuff that's a little overworked, but 98% of it I think looks great. And most of all, it's got sword fights. I love a good sword fight, even in a comic book. I mean, there's a great sword fight in Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. It's one of, not Life and Times of Scrooge, in His Majesty McDuck. One of my favorite Don Rosa stories of all time, one of his earliest, which is surprising. But Pierre Alleret, you can take a look at some of the art on these pages. He knows what he's doing. He can tell a story super well. He's got expressive faces, got great gestures. I don't know much about him. I'm assuming there's some sort of animation background in here. It reminds me a lot of, again, Jose Luis Munuera's art, who definitely had some training in the animation world. Alleret has had one story in English published by Marvel. He had a Spider-Man story he did for a Marvel Spider-Man family anthology, I believe it was called. And we'll have to look at that comic sometime in the future. But for now, just take a look at these pages. They're beautiful. They're well colored. They're not overwritten. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of words here, and we'll slow down the story in a little bit and see more of it. But I mean, just check out that sword fight over here. The angles change. The body movement's dramatic. You see the through line going through is awesome. Action moves left to right, and then when it goes against it, moves right to left. It's all the great storytelling stuff you'd expect from a good comic book storyteller. And I want to show you every last page. I hope these stories eventually get translated. This material would be great for an American publisher to pick up. Yes, it's a French period piece, so we're not all familiar with French history to the degree that obviously someone in France would, so they'd recognize this period, this era a little better. To us in North America, I'm sure this is just a Three Musketeers like story, except this time it's a woman with a sword, but it's pretty awesome when you get to it. There's a whole flashback sequence in here that the color changes on. There's a big finale of a sword fight at the end that's really interesting to look at. That's worth taking a look. Breaks the panel borders here a little bit when the window breaks out. In fact, this is interesting. The window gets broken out here, the door gets broken out. Pieces and shrapnel are flying everywhere. They're flying across here, but at the same rate, we're seeing the rest of the door window being blown open and stuff coming out of it there. So it's kind of overlapping, guiding the eye. It's exploding in both panels. It's a pretty interesting take there. There's this great piece where the man and the woman are fighting going up a chimney, and the angles just change. So she's looking up at him. He's looking down at her. She pokes him. We see his reaction to it. He kicks back at her. She's scraping at the sides of the chimney to try to save herself from falling. And we see, from her angle, looking up at him as he's climbing up. They go out onto the rooftop, and there's this whole silhouetted fight scene. It's just great storytelling, and to my eyes, at least, beautiful art. I love this sort of animated style of art. It's beautiful stuff, and Pierre Alleret is someone who I will follow in any book he does in any language. I have a couple more that maybe I'll show you in the future. There's a Sinbad book, there's a Moby Dick book that he's done, both of that have never been translated into English either. And we'll have to flip through those books one of these days. But that's Belladone. I bought this book in San Diego back in 2000. I'm not sure. Maybe it was 2005 even. This book came out, has a September cover date to it. I bought it. And Pierre Alleret was doing an appearance and doing a signing and a sketching at the booth, and I had just missed him. But the art looked great, the book looked great, and I bought it anyway. So this is one of my earlier Franco-Belgian art book purchases from San Diego back, 18 years ago now. So Belladone, an exciting book, an interesting book. There is a compilation of the 3 books into what they call an integral. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the integral takes all 3 books and just puts them in one big, what we'd call an omnibus or a collected edition, whatever you want. And again, full album sized. It's beautiful. So give it a chance if you ever happen to see it somewhere. Even if I'm not sure if it's available digitally. Definitely not in English, but I'm not sure if it's available digitally in French or not. I'll have to check ISNEO one of these days to take a look.